Hey guys, we're back with another hot take video.
Hot take.
Spicy as always.
Well, hopefully, yeah.
And yeah, we try to bring the heat here. And we're going to discuss or ask the question about Warhammer the Old World after we've seen all these rules come out pretty much, after we've seen a lot of the preview stuff. Who is actually going to play this game?
Who's going to play
That's the question of the hour. Who is this for?
Who's it for? Are you going to play?
Why is it for? Are you going to play? You know, I honestly don't know. I'm kind of in that. I actually think I feel how I felt before any of the previews started.
Oh, okay.
Still. Even though I know way more information,
Yeah.
I'm still like, I'm kind of still in a wait and see sort of.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
I think maybe you're probably. I have a feeling your answer is the reason it is because of what I'm thinking of is it's probably still because I still feel like the model. What models are going to be used is still kind of up in the air. Yes, we've seen with all this pomp and circumstance and previews, we've effectively seen 3 new plastic models, I think. Technically,
yeah,
3 new
there's only
plastic
one
hits.
Tomb King thing, right?
There's a very cool Tomb King hero,
the hero thing,
the cool Bretonnian hero, and the Foot
and
Knights.
the Foot Knights, yeah, that's right.
And yeah,
3 plastic sets.
and then we've seen another like 4 or 5 or 6 resin, like random things, and that's it. And then so maybe because they haven't, and I'm sure they will, because they haven't shown us a kind of like a nice like wide picture where it's like there's 2 armies lined up, and maybe it's like, I don't know, Empire fighting orcs or something. You know, I don't know. I still doesn't feel real because I don't know what the. Like, yeah, I appreciate the rule. Actually, I think the rule stuff has been pretty good.
Yeah,
like,
no, I would agree with that.
I actually think these changes and what they flushed out and what they've made and how they made it like classic but different. Actually, it's good. I was like, I would play this rule set. I would try it anyway. Like, I don't know how much I'll play it like long term, but I would like this is. But now it's like, well, what is an army construction going to be? And that is going to be the ultimate thing. Like, will I build and paint old range models? Like, I just don't know. Like, and maybe it's a little different for Chris and I because we've both like we don't own any like
not anymore.
Anything.
We got rid of all.
It's all gone. Yeah. So, and I don't know. Like, and maybe because we both Chris and I we're not a great case because like we've built and painted more armies than like most people most people do in their lives or whatever. Like it's just nuts. Like how many
it was stupid.
Armies
it was like
done?
8 or 9 fantasy battle armies like in like the span of 7 or 8 years. Like it was stupid.
But even like think of just like your like all time like between all your games and like how many.
Holy
so
cow.
like
Yeah.
so for example like I owned and painted like several iterations of High Elves. So to like, yes, they're my favorite faction, but to like go and do that again is like without enough new. I mean, I have a Lumineth army, so I did do it again.
You did do it again, yeah.
But like do it again is like
again.
I don't know. Like that's my challenge here. And maybe if they let me use those models in some way, like I've hyperbolized, like maybe like or hypothesized for it, like where maybe I can like take a Lumineth guy and put him on a special movement tray and use them like that, and then I would be like, okay, this is easy. But like to take old
like they want you to get back in the DeLorean and like
they want me to go back in the DeLorean and
to paint.
I just don't know. I just don't know.
Have it in you.
I mean, maybe I will. Like, there's like if your friend group or player group or whatever is like super excited, everyone's doing it. Then I could be host. Like I did.
Yeah.
You know, I dipped back into Heresy, like, and I didn't hate it. So
I've tried about this with other friends, and they had like there's some good ideas out there. So like there's some obvious armies that basically have been updated for Age of Sigmar that will port really nicely into.
Which we've been saying.
Which we've been saying. Yeah, well, I mean, like
I know some commenters are like, no,
you can't do that.
Pure.
Like in my mind, I've already like kind of beginning planning like how I could do it in a hobby way that would be interesting to me. So like for example, without giving away too many cool ideas, there's like you could port like the new Soulblight skeletons could easily be converted into Tomb King skeletons.
Right.
And
I still want to see that, but
it can happen.
Chris has a.
No one believes me.
No one believes it.
It's in my head. Like it's I'm one head swap away.
Okay, all right.
From pulling it off.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And there's other cool things you can do, like for example, just using your imagination. There's in the old world, there's stories about like the Red Duke and like you know a vampiric knight or something.
Yep.
You could take that and roll with that and do like undead Bretonians.
Yep.
Use the Bretonian rules, but use all the beautiful Blood
Yes.
Knight kits, the skeletons, the zombies, all that stuff. for
We
making
already know
arms.
where Buddy John's going to do that.
There's stuff like that you could do to kind of to kind of make the models a little bit more compelling, I guess, for the hobby project side.
Yeah.
But I guess my question is more along the lines of like, broadly speaking, who are they making this game for?
Right.
And I just had a couple thoughts in my head. Like, it's been 9 years,
Yep.
right?
It will be. This
And
summer, yeah.
we've seen a lot of people that that we used to play with during Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th edition. Like we used to see them at events all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The people that were the most common players. And a lot of those people obviously have moved on in 9 years to
Yep.
to other things. Like they went into Malifaux, they went into 40K, they
Yep.
went into XYZ.
Or
They
just stopped.
or stopped. That actually it's pretty common. They just
Yeah.
literally stopped doing the hobby
They just
altogether.
stopped.
And there's more. There's probably more rank and flank games now than there's ever been before.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, right?
Yeah,
you got like Kings of War.
Song of Ice and Fire, Conquest.
Conquest,
yeah,
Parallel,
that slice of that genre pie or whatever has been taken up. Like it's it was also just like Napoleonics and things. And people
Yeah, which
playing.
have always been there.
Yeah, so
100%.
like yeah, it's are those people going to quit those games to play Warhammer again? Like I don't know. Like I mean, obviously there's a lot of excitement because like
yeah,
there's like we make videos about it every week. Everyone else is making videos about it every
Yeah.
week. Everyone's coming into the store and talking about it every week. So, but again, it's like any other internet.
but is this
thing.
a cultural zeitgeist thing
Yeah.
where like people are like tuning in because
Yes.
it's such an interesting thing?
Yes.
But no one's actually going to.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's where is it a bubble?
Is
Are
it a
we
bubble?
Are we all in a
Is it a
Warhammer
Warhammer bubble?
old world bubble? Like, what's going on right now?
It's gonna be an FTX situation. Only one guy at the top is gonna make money, and everyone else.
And I think though, I think just kind of posing this question, I think I understand Games Workshop's headspace in all this, because if we're all asking this question, and it's not clear to us, I think who've we've been in I'm not going to throw the word expert out there, but like we've been in the hobby industry a long time. Been hobbyists a long time.
Yep.
If
Just
we
see
don't know
things.
who this game is necessarily for, maybe Games Workshop doesn't either.
Yeah.
And that's why they're being careful, right? Like that's why
Yes.
they're treading carefully. They're being very low key about the whole thing.
And the long development cycle and the long teasing probably is so that they could get enough time to continually gauge and step and be like, okay, this is what we think, this is what people are, the feedback we're getting, and like revising it. And I bet you it went through a lot of revision before it came to
Yeah.
I mean it's been 4 years, and for most of those years they were just showing like little pictures of maps and heraldries and random things, and now finally that it's like, so I don't know, it's obviously been in development a long time, and that sounds like that's pretty like common with them too. I think a lot of people don't realize how long some of the projects like sit.
Well, I was reminded by watching some old videos of Rick Priestley and what's the specialist games guy? Chambers talk
Andy
about the old days of Games Workshop, and there were times when there was like a side game that like Andy Chambers talked about this. Like he would just go off and he's like, I want to make this game, so I'm just
Yeah.
going to write it in my free time.
Right.
And Old World feels maybe a little bit like that, where like there's just some fans that are still in the design studio of this game.
Yeah.
And it very well could have been this like side pet project that people
been.
just kept alive for years.
Yeah.
And they look, we can release this, and it didn't really cost the company anything.
They probably circled back several times to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so who's it for? I don't know. I think obviously there's also like they've been doing this anyway. Is because we could have had the same argument about Imperialis, Legion Imperialis, which is coming out this week. Hooray! Or any of their other specialist games. It's just like if they just cast a massive net,
Yeah.
they will catch and draw everyone their way, right?
And that's just it.
And that's-
It's a safe way to release a game. I actually think they're going to sell a lot of rule books.
Yep.
Because I'm at the very least going to buy a rule book because
Yep.
I want to read about it. And the Warhammer Old World like stories are always good, and it's a new period.
Yep.
Which is cool. So like, there's going to be a lot more interesting story
It's a
there that
new
we haven't
old
discovered
period.
before.
Yeah.
I think just to sum up the video, if I had to answer the question I asked myself at the beginning of the video, their obvious best client is going to be the people that never bought it before.
New people. Yeah.
The Total War kids.
Yes.
People that got into Total War, saw Total War,
Yes.
and had that itch to buy fantasy models for the first
It's
time.
for them, actually.
And they never had to build a 6th edition Spearman before, so they might actually be excited.
They might not mind. Yeah.
They might not mind. Like
Sure.
it's just a cool model.
Yeah.
That model is what they play in the game with.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
I think those people will probably be the most excited to buy
They,
models.
yeah, they will, yeah. And that, again, we always have our like retailer hats on, and I'm still not much farther along in my like what is it going to look like on the shelf thing, other than like I guess we'll stock some of the new models because like they're just great.
They're great kits.
So
yeah. Yep.
why not? But everything else with that is like, as it looks a lot like Lord of the Rings from a few years ago, where
That's probably a good comparison.
Where the reboxings and other box kits were not, enough to just drive sales. It was anything new sold fine, but any reboxing old stuff didn't. So
Yeah, and if you want to just get a physical representation of our Lord of the Rings section, it's like this, right?
Yeah,
It's small,
yeah.
It's got a few box kits, a couple army deals,
yeah,
a starter box, a rule book, a couple little extra books, and that's it, right? And anything else we have to direct order for people.
Well, the section was built around like here's some new things, but then here's some things in case people want to like actually start this game or whatever. And I don't know what it is. You would have thought like 20 years on or whatever it's been, at least 15, that like after all the movies and everything, that you'd have a new generation of people that are like Lord of the Rings is should still be like popular enough. But maybe we got Lord of the Rings out, just like how we're getting Marveled out a little bit, like So maybe it's going to take even longer before that comes back in full force. Warhammer's a little different though because it's not an IP based thing; it's kind of its own thing, or sort
kind of drives itself.
It's
right?
not like it drives itself. So there were no like Warhammer movies and mainstream content that burnt people off Warhammer, right? And in fact, it's kind of the opposite. People are still discovering it.
They're starving for it too. Yeah.
So that'll really be the main benchmark of the success. Is will those new people play this game? And if they do, then it'll be successful. Really.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think there's enough people in 10 years that have come
not
into
for
that
us,
age.
that's for sure.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not for us, and that's okay. Like it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
I'm still like lukewarm excited to see what it becomes, but it's okay when products aren't designed for you. There's a lot of special games Rogue makes that I don't have any interest in, but I think are really cool.
Sure.
So answer the question yourself in the comments. Who do you think this game's for? Are you going to play it? If so, where are you coming from in your hobby, et cetera, et cetera. So give us an answer, give us a like, and stay tuned for more Old World videos. We're pumping them out. Take care, guys.
Thanks.
Until next time.